Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. Austin Barrett began exploring the arts with watercolors and other painting classes. But it was not until he took up guitar repair that he found something that really spoke to him creatively. He bought used guitars from local pawn shops, fixed them up, and resold them. This was just the beginning of a love for the fine art craft of woodworking.
I went up to Exotic Lumber, which is a lumber store right in Annapolis, and I met one of my old bosses there that owned a woodworking company. And I worked for him for about a year. His name was Dwayne Adkins. From him I learned how to use the lathe, which is the main tool in my shop. And then he got sick and ended up passing away. Right before he passed away though, he willed me all the wood from his shop and ended up buying the tools off of him. So I started doing that, which I made bottle stoppers and pens and bowls, things like that with them. And now I'm doing it out on my own. There were so many different types of species of wood. It was really cool to see how many different colors could be in one piece. Normally, when I go buy wood at the lumber store, I go and I try to buy things for a certain project. You end up seeing other things just because they're so beautiful. You don't want to give up the opportunity to get these pieces because with wood, it's not like paint where you can always go and buy cadmium red or you can buy any of these other colors. While with wood, there's only going to be one piece in existence that looks like that.
The wood from a tree is not the only thing that Austin works with. Burls and seed pods can also provide creative inspiration.
So that's a nut off of a banksia tree in Australia, and it's got a hard shell on the outside. And then the next layer, it's really weird. It's like a velvety type material, and it's really cool. Then on the inside, it's a very hard, almost wood-like feeling. And it's got all these holes around it, and that's from the seeds. And when it opens up, the seeds fall out. And it's also inside the seed pods has like a web, like a spider's web, like silky material. So it's a very interesting type of piece to turn because it has so much room for creativity with it. You can inlay it, you can leave it plain, which is my favorite thing to do because I think that shows the uniqueness of the piece. I do a lot of scavenging. I go and hunt my own burls a lot. My most recent project, I saw they had burl caps from Australia, which a burl is a big knot, kind of like a tumor on a tree, and it makes the figure on the inside just go wild and swirl, and it makes something that we call eyes, which are little tiny dots in the wood. And I saw that the local place got a lot of those in. So I experimented with them, saw that some kind of looked bowl shape, and I wanted to see what I could do with the natural outside of the wood because it has all these different spikes and it was just really, really cool looking.
Austin left the exterior in its natural form, but created a small bowl that was inlaid with turquoise. The effect is dramatic and beautiful. The interplay between the natural form and the refined wood is something Austin continues to experiment with.
I made a table for a company called Compliance Environmental that has the same natural edge on it. It's all hand planed. It was too big to be machined, so it's all hand tooled out. It's a big slab of quilted Palmella sapelli, which is a type of mahogany. It's very dense and it's very beautiful. And on the outside edge, when the slab's that big, this slab was 43 inches wide. So with this, it gets banged around and the edges get chipped and broken. So I actually went in with hand tools, chisels, and other types of tools like that and recreated the live edge on certain parts of the table. And that was probably the biggest project I've done so far.
Austin's bottle stoppers, cheese boards, pens, and cocktail muddlers are for sale at the Italian Market in Annapolis. Here on the shore, you can see his art at St. Michael's Wine Fest this coming April 22nd through the 24th. He also has work on display at My Little Studio in Stevensville. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. Be sure to follow us on Facebook or Twitter, and next week join us to learn more about our local culture and get connected to our natural wonders. If you'd like to become an underwriter for this program, visit delmarvaalmanac.com/support. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters eatdrinkbuyart.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.